Welcome back to our channel. I am so excited about today's video because today we're talking about one of the things Kansas City is most known for, our barbecue. In fact, Kansas City, the Kansas City Metro, has over 100 barbecue restaurants alone. And so today we're gonna take a tour of 3 of the best barbecue places that Kansas City is most well known for. If you're like me and love barbecue, you're in for a treat. I'm Joe Nelson with the Nelson Home Group at Keller Williams, Google's highest rated real estate team in Kansas City. Let's dive in. So our first stop on our barbecue tour today is Gates Barbecue, Kansas City's oldest and probably arguably one of the most iconic. This chain of barbecue places really put Kansas City barbecue on the map. In 1946, George W. Gates decided he was done with railroad life, and he thought that a family-owned and operated restaurant business would be much more fulfilling. And so he opened Gates Old Kentucky on 19th and Vine, truly shattering glass ceilings as a successful black business owner in the 1940s. Gates is known for its unique "Hi, may I help you" slogan, greeting you basically the second you walk in the door. The other thing that Gates is really well known for is their sauce. It's spicy, it's thick, it's tangy. It's actually one of my family favorites, and you can find it in all the local grocery stores. You really can't go wrong with any of the barbecue that you order here, but what they're most well known for are their ribs and their brisket. And don't forget the famous slice of bread to mop up every single last bite. So I'm actually here with Colin Gates, the great grandson of George W. Gates.
Yes.
And so Colin is actually a client of mine. I've helped you now with a couple real estate transactions.
Yes, you have, and I'm very grateful that you've helped me with them too.
Yeah, so I have a special connection to the Gates barbecue legacy. It's an honor to be able to serve your family. So how long have you worked at the restaurants?
Well, I can honestly say that as long as I've been able to push a bus cart, be helpful to the restaurants, I've been working for my old man.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I joke and tell my friends is about when I was 6 years old, I first started pushing the bus cart around, picking up tables and chairs around the restaurant and sweeping up and cleaning up the wood pile that way. I had a connection to the stores.
Wow, that's cool. And I know when your great-grandpa opened it, it was his vision to have a family-owned and operated business, and it's still continued 3 generations later.
I don't know if it was vision when he first opened it.
Okay.
It was just making sure that he didn't have to be a porter on the railroad lines.
Yeah.
He decided that that wasn't working out for him because he didn't want to work for anybody else. He partnered with another gentleman. They opened up the restaurant on 19th and Vine. Shortly after opening, he realized he didn't want to be anybody's partner, so he bought the gentleman out, and 77 years later, we now have a 4-generation strong restaurant.
That's so cool. So what is your favorite thing about what you do?
The flavor.
Okay.
And I say that in many different ways because the flavor of how we operate, the flavor of the food that we send out, and the flavor of Kansas City around us.
Okay.
Because Kansas City has over 150 barbecue restaurants, and we are distinct enough to be called by name. So the flavor that we put out and what we, how we operate most is what I love about it, because you go anywhere else in the world, talk about barbecue, at least one person is going to raise their hand and say, have you ever heard of such and such in Kansas City? Well,
yeah.
Being called the Kansas City institution is great, but when they call you out by name halfway around the world is even better.
That's really cool. Well, thanks for jumping on with us today. I appreciate it.
Oh, thank you for having me.
So our next stop on this legendary barbecue tour is Joe's Kansas City Barbecue, formerly known as Oklahoma Joe's. Here at the original location inside of a gas station, this dive-style barbecue joint often has a line out the door into the parking lot. In fact, I've stood in this parking lot at 100+ degree weather for over an hour waiting to taste some of this barbecue. Kansas City Joe's began as a team called Slaughterhouse 5. They won several awards, including the Lenexa, Kansas State Barbecue Champ, the American Royal Open, and the American Royal Invitational. And if you're a Kansas City native, those are some big names. Oklahoma Joe's originated in Stillwater, Oklahoma in 1996, hence the name. They expanded to this Kansas City, Kansas gas station location at 47th and Mission when the previous owner, who ran a fried chicken counter, closed up shop, and then the famous Kansas City Joe's was born. From the humble gas station beginnings to today, where oftentimes at peak hours you'll see lines well out the door, people come from all over the country to taste this barbecue. The sandwich they're most well known for is the Z-Man. Brisket, cheese, and an onion ring, and people fall all over themselves for it. My favorite sandwich is a twist on the Z-Man. I prefer pulled pork with cheese and the onion ring, and it's so amazing. You should definitely come and check it out. They're also very well known for their burnt ends, which is a delicacy to Kansas City. Their ribs are tasty. Really, you can't go wrong with anything you get here. The next of our favorite barbecue spots is in the heart of downtown Kansas City, Fiorella's Jack Stack. Founded in 1957, this restaurant has been serving up some of the finest barbecue in Kansas City for over 60 years. In the 1970s, when the Kansas City barbecue industry really took off, Jack Fiorella and his wife created one of the most exclusive barbecue menus in the country, cooking gourmet meals over hickory wood. Jack Stack to this day is still family owned in its 4th generation and has locations really all over the city. What sets Jack Stack apart from a Gates or a Kansas City Joe's is more of an upscale sit-down dining experience, while the other two are counter service style restaurants. Jack Stack is really known for its high quality meats, and actually my favorite thing to get here is the carrot cake. I know that's weird, but their carrot cake is the best I've ever had. So you've had a small taste of some of the most popular or famous barbecue restaurants in Kansas City, and everybody has a personal favorite. With over 100, there's so much to choose from. So I wanted to share one of my favorite local, lesser known barbecue places. Smokehouse is a hidden gem with a unique history. They've been smoking meats the old fashioned way since 1987, and they still use the original brick pits that they started with 4 decades ago. I would highly recommend you come and check out Smokehouse, and if you do, you've got to taste their beans, one of my favorite things here, as well as the Texas Hot sandwich. It's a pork burger with shredded pork and another pork burger. It's literally the pork trifecta, my favorite barbecue sandwich here. It's got a rustic, cozy atmosphere, and it'll make you feel right at home while you enjoy your local barbecue. There you have it, a whirlwind tour of some of Kansas City's most famous barbecue. Whether it's Gates Barbecue with its rich history and spicy sauce, or maybe Joe's Kansas City, famous for its Z-Man sandwich, or even Jack Stack for its upscale dining, or maybe the local Smokehouse for some old school charm, Kansas City has got you covered for barbecue in every possible way. If you enjoyed our barbecue adventure today, make sure you like our video and subscribe to our channel. And of course, we'd love to hear your comments about what your favorite barbecue places in Kansas City are. And don't forget, if you're looking to move, we would love to be your real estate experts of choice. Our contact info is in the description. See you next time.